Hey, Dr. Oz. I'm Dr. Sean McCaffrey. I'm the host of House Call Radio, and I'm the Robin Hood of healthcare.
I love it.
And you said a quote in an interview recently where you talked about medicine, and when we can't say what we see as physicians, people die.
Yeah.
And I watched this last 2 years in a catastrophe for the healthcare system. And I was curious about the lack of trust now that has come out of this. The entire industry feels like it's been beaten into the ground. How are we going to get it back? How would you recommend that?
Well, since you've got a radio program, this is something that I think I would be hammering at continually. We need a revolution by doctors, by physicians, against overburdened regulations, government, and a basic philosophy that you don't know well. So if I need another protocol that I need to follow to fill out my medical record sheet, or another way that my hospital gets dinged because I didn't give someone a statin drug who shouldn't be on one, because the regulation says that they're supposed to be on one. I don't want unelected middle-level bureaucrats like Fauci bossing me around in the management of my patients. And as a calling card of this, I would use the last 2 years of an experience. If you're a physician or a professional in America, you should feel abused. We were almost purposely isolated from the process. So I'll just give an example. Early on, as I mentioned, my shows in 100 countries, I was getting phone calls about hydroxychloroquine. Now listen, I'm not gonna make a big pitch for hydroxychloroquine, but I was hearing from doctors in other countries that they were using it with some success, anecdotally. So I started talking about it, and then President Trump talked about it, boom, gone. You couldn't talk about it, speak about it, it was toxic, too dangerous to use, even though it's 70 years old, malaria pill that many of us had taken for travel purposes. So I was sort of surprised. So I said, all right, you know what, I'm gonna study it. I gave $250,000 to my hospital, Columbia University. I got the drugs, which is hard to do, got the IRB approval. We're all set to go. The governor of the state, Cuomo, bans the study. Why would a governor ban a clinical trial? I said, well, all right, well, give the pills away. I got them. Just give them away, donate them to people who are sick. He banned the prescription of hydroxychloroquine. A governor banned a doctor's ability to prescribe an FDA-approved drug. Never before happened. These, to me, are shots across the bow. They've taken away what we as clinicians should have the right to do, which is to determine the care of our patients. That's why when they attack functional medicine, I bristle, because why do I care what a government official has to say about this? There's a pretty good chance that people can lobby them, whereas they can't lobby my patients and me. So leave me free to take care of my patients. If we don't push back as clinicians, they will take more and more and more and more. And the undermining is not of the doctors, it's of the healthcare profession, because it's run by unelected middle-level bureaucrats, which is why I've asked to fire Fauci. You all know Biden has been trying to fire me from the President's Council, which is, I mean, so I get the letter in the beginning and it says, Dr. Oz, in 6 hours, if you don't, it's like a Mission Impossible letter. In 6 hours, if you don't quit, we're gonna fire you. So at first I thought they were punking me. I thought Biden, forgetful as he is, meant to fire Fauci. And then I realized he was serious about this. And I said, why are you firing me? I mean, President Trump appointed me twice. What have I done that doesn't, by the way, you haven't even had a meeting since you've been president. There's not been one meeting of the council, even though we're in COVID. We were meeting all the time under President Trump. And then I learned that he actually can't even fire anybody. You know, I took him 3 times to fire me. And Herschel Walker, who's running for the Senate in Georgia, same kind of issue. But the two of us together have been sort of pounding it, and you know, and it's remarkable. They politicize medicine, and when you mix politics and medicine, you know what you get? Politics.
Yeah, and I love it, and I think it's great. You know, and when I came up with the term the Robin Hood of healthcare, my concept behind it was that I'm trying to help exactly the way you described it, that middle between the top and the bottom,
Yep.
giving people an outlet. So where do we go then from here to empower people to try to take back some of their healthcare, some of their knowledge, so they don't get swallowed up by this mega conglomerate, just crazed thing that's out there?
Listen, I think 20% of the people are going to lead the rebellion, are going to say enough. We're going to do whatever it takes for us to be healthier, so that, and there are going to be a lot of affluent people in that group, disproportionately, because they're smart enough to see what's going on. They've been in businesses where they maybe seen government overregulation or people saying things that just were false narratives. But there are going to be a lot of people who are not wealthy too, because there are a lot of smart people who just haven't had the opportunities, and they know it's wrong, and they actually experience bad medicine because they don't get access to good medicine. So those two groups are going to lead your revolt. You have to empower them. Allow them to prosper, nurture them, give them ammo, arm them with information they can use to tell their families, and that 20% will rapidly grow to become 80%. There'll be 20% of people, they're gonna be sheeple. They're gonna be the ones driving their car by themselves with a mask on. They're gonna be out there. You can't change them. But it's the 80-20 rule. Get us to 80% and it will shift all of medicine. And I do believe our phones will be part of that. Because when you're facing a pandemic fear and someone says lose weight because you'll have less chance of dying, you'll start doing that. But they won't tell you that on national television because it's not sexy. It's seen as fat shaming.
Love it.